Hello, beautiful world. Welcome to my channel. What are we talking about today? Well, today we're talking about confusion. Okay? So, what is confusion? Confusion can be not knowing something right, not feeling like you understand something, not sure of something, right? But what is confusion really? You ever felt like you're confused? You ever feel like you're confused about which direction you should be heading in life? Confused about why people are acting a certain way or behave a certain way around you? Maybe like you feel like people behave a certain way just around you. That is possible. That may be going on. That is a strong possibility that that could be going on, right? You feel that? Do you feel confused about who you are? Because that is the most important of all, okay? If you're confused about who you are, right? That can cause confusion for a lot of things. Like being confused on where direction do you want to go in life, or what you want to do in life. It could be for long-term goals. It can be for short-term goals, right? You ever heard people say confusion comes from the devil? What are they really saying? That maybe the devil is wanting to cloud you, wanting to be in your way and block you. That all sounds right to me, right? That all sounds right. But what is confusion really? I mean, the devil is not literally picking on you and blocking your blessings, just your blessings, right? Let me tell you on what I think confusion is. What I know actually to be true, not think. Let me correct that. What I know confusion to be. Confusion comes from lack of self, lack of knowledge of self, understanding of self. See why we can be confused about understanding something, not knowing something, not being sure of something? It's all lack of unsureness within yourself, lack of knowledge of yourself, lack of understanding of yourself. Okay? That can cause a lot of confusion in all aspects of your life. One thing that's beautiful about this life and us is the more we know ourselves, the easier for us to manage this life. Okay? Getting to know yourself is the most essential thing in life. Okay? People are out there sometimes. I never really understood this question, and the more I have been paying attention to myself and I have learned about myself throughout the years, it was clear to me why I never understood this question. It's because there's no such thing. When people say, what is your purpose? I never understood that. As if you are here on earth, day in and day out, you are given every day, whether you lived on this earth 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80 years, like you were given 80 years, 90 years even. Some of us can be lucky and live up to 100. I hope so. All these years just for you to do one thing. People say my purpose is to make music. My purpose is to help people in need. My purpose is to be a songwriter, or my purpose is to be an athlete. Like, really? Your purpose is you were given all these days and all these years just to do one thing. I don't believe that. I never understood that. And it makes sense to me the more I get to know myself and I study myself. Every day you are given this chance, every day, to get to know yourself better. Through knowing yourself better, it's because you gradually, you change, okay? You change over the years, you change over the time, you change in situations, okay? You change in your atmosphere and your environment. So you are given every day to get to know yourself better than you did yesterday. In doing so, you get to know life, okay? Through knowing yourself, you understand life. Because think about it. What do you really know outside of yourself? You really don't know much outside of yourself. A lot of us would like to think that we do, but we don't. Like, we guess how people might feel. We guess how people are acting, whether it's towards us or in person, impersonal thing. Like, oh, she's a show-off, or he's a smart, or she's strong. Like, how do you really know that? There's no way you can really know that. You know that through your ideology. So self, through self's ideology. Okay, if this person acts this way to me, this is how I categorize them to be. Because what you think is strong or what you think is smart, the next person may be like, no, she's dumb, or no, he's weak, So what is it that you really know? You don't know much, or if anything, nothing, okay? You know self pretty well though, okay? Most of us don't know ourselves well enough. That is why it is hard for us to manage and understand this life. You're not to understand other people's behavior, other people's life, or other people's outcome, or in general the whole world. Like, that is not your job. That is not your duty. That is not for you to worry about. That is not something you will ever figure out. However, you have all the key, and you are the only manager of self. Okay? You can learn to manage yourself. You can learn to understand yourself. So much so that life becomes really easy for you, like a piece of cake, okay? So how do you understand yourself? Because through understanding yourself, a lot of the things that you were confused about will go away. Like not knowing what you want to do in the long-term life, that's because you didn't take the time to get to know yourself. Like, what is it that's important to you? What is it that moves your soul, or gets you excited, or make you feel like you're alive, or that you can never really get bored of, that you can do at any stage of your life? Have you ever thought about those things? Or confused on understanding people? Why do people act a certain way all the time? Why do people act a certain way around me? Okay, those are two different things. Why do people always act a certain way? Like, people are stupid, people are mean, people are this. I hear people say that a lot. Like, we all do, right? But what are we really saying? Why can't I be in their mind and understand or know what's going on in their thoughts? Why can I really not sure what people are trying to say by that, right? Because the way you're visioning someone else and how they behave, whether it's towards you or in general, is how you view yourself, okay? It's how you seem to understand what's happening around you. It's how you conclude things, right? Because when you say, oh, he's rude, she's rude, I can't be around that, you're not giving yourself the chance and opportunity to really understand what is it about you that is making you think or feel like they're rude or she's rude. Because a lot of the time, based on what we have learned person acts a certain, because like rudeness is different. That's why they say it's a cultural thing, right? In one culture, what is considered rude, in another culture may not be, like at all. Sometimes even the opposite, like it's politeness. What are you talking about, right? It's how we're brought up. So based on how we're brought up, we create a conclusion when we see a certain behavior, right? So you need to ask yourself, what is it about me? How am I reading this person, this situation, for me to feel as though this is a negative outcome rather than a neutral or maybe even a positive outcome, right? What is it? Or if you're a people pleaser, always thinking everything is okay, always letting slide everything, can't talk. Always letting everything slide, right? Always being okay and fine with everything. Never really wanting to speak your mind even when you don't like something. It is how you are visualizing and understanding and concluding the outcome of it that is making you feel or think these certain thoughts and feelings, okay? When you feel the people act a certain way towards you, like, have you felt that way? I know I felt that way for so long, okay? And I came to learn and understand it is true. It could be possible that people act a certain way towards you. Not knowing yourself, okay? Sometimes not knowing your energy, that how much your energy just captures a room, captures a person. If you don't understand that, then the captivity of your energy to them will make you feel uncomfortable, right? You walk into a room or into a place, you feel like everybody's looking at you, so you get annoyed and irritated, like, why are they all looking at me? Like, so it makes you feel a certain way. Most of the time in a negative way, you feel as though they might be looking at you because for a negative reason. Lack of self-knowledge will make you feel that way, because though they may not consciously recognize why is it that they're gravitating towards you, or why is it that the whole room feels though they need to look at you at once or pay attention to you, it is your energy that they are recognizing on an energy level, on a subconscious level. It's energies recognizing energies. Energies always recognize each other and gravitate towards each other, right? Whether it's a like of energy, if they're alike, they gravitate towards each other, right? Or when they're not, they still recognize each other. Like, it's still like some sort of gravitation, even the recognition of it, okay? So, like, people recognize your energy, recognize your greatness, recognizes sometimes even your beauty outside of you recognizing yourself. Like, it can be as simple as that, being that we live in such an artificial world, right? That you seem to not know yourself puts you in an uncomfortable position even when others notice you, consciously or subconsciously, okay? Self-knowledge will help you understand that whether a person gives you a positive energy or positive feedback or negative feedback will help you be confident and be comfortable that it is okay. That is how they're viewing me. That is how they're subconsciously viewing themselves, projecting on to you. Okay? You learn to be okay with those things. Matter of fact, you actually learn to feel bad and sorry for them and help them understand themselves through understanding you. Okay, this is reverse psychology. That's where that comes in. Okay, so knowing yourself in return, on the flip side, it helps you knowing your entire world. Okay, your everyday reaction, anything and everything you come across, anybody and anything you come across, journey of knowing yourself and developing yourself, the number one thing that might be tough, that even might scare you away or hold you back if you don't push yourself through these walls, and I mean literally, really, like, not literally, like, but metaphorically, really push yourself mentally through, that will block you, is doing your shadow work. Let me say that again. A lot of people can't even look at themselves in the mirror. There's a rap song that actually says that. I love that. What did he say? Taking advice from people who are scared to stare at their own reflection. Have you ever tried to sit there and stare at yourself in the eyes? Most people can't do that. Why? Because they can't seem to understand or recognize what is it that's looking back at them. Try that, okay? Try to sit there and stare at yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, you have a lot of shadow work to do. Because when you look at yourself in the mirror and in the eyes, especially for a long time, not 1, 2, 3 seconds, maybe you can do that, but at least sit there. At least for 20 or more, okay? 20 seconds or more, maybe 30 seconds or more. Like, really look at yourself. Don't look at your eyeballs, the white part or the color part. No, look at the people. Like, look into your soul, basically. If you cannot do that comfortably, if you cannot do that, if you do that and you have any type of fear or creepiness or weird feeling come upon you, you have great amount of shadow work to do. We all do, okay? I did my shadow work and I worked through it. I was one of that, okay? I was in that boat, okay? We all are in that boat until we learn to work on it because of the world we are born into, first of all, the way it is created and all. And secondly, the environment and our background and our cultures and our religions and everything that we come across here on planet Earth, and the way planet Earth itself was created by the Creator, it all puts us in this confusion, okay? In this like two side to the coin type of thing, okay? Like, you have to do the work. That's why I feel though like we are blessed with each and every day, because each and every day you are to be doing this work to really get to know yourself. Like, God doesn't just bring you here, the Creator, whatever, the universe, whoever you believe in, okay? Doesn't just bring you here, didn't just create this world to be perfect for you. That is why they say you are in charge of yourself. You are in charge of your destiny. In other words, you, the willpower is yours, okay? You have your own willpower. That all is basically saying one thing. You are in control of how you visualize, how you see, how you interact, how your emotions are towards yourself, towards others. That is all up to you. It has nothing to do with what's going on around you, okay? When you learn about yourself in a much deeper level, you also learn your emotions, why you interact with certain things the way you do, good or bad. You learn to manage your emotions, good and bad, okay? Yeah, you are supposed to learn to manage your emotions. It is not like the world what we live in makes you believe it is such okay and natural for you to get mad because something upsetting happened. But what's something upsetting? Something upsetting can be in your visualization. It can be like in your own. What's upsetting to you may not be upsetting to the next person. You see what I'm saying? What's okay with you may not be okay with me, okay? So who's to say that something upsetting happened so you have the right to be upset? Like, no one but really you. But we make that into a general thing, okay? So then you have the power to manage that, you know? You have the power to try to understand what is going on around you in order for you to respond or react to such a way that is more pleasurable for you, rather than just going with what is supposed to be upsetting and allowing it to upset you. You see what I'm saying? Understanding yourself allows you to open doors to the deeper parts of yourself, okay? To your soul. And we'll talk about the shadow works that you have to do in a later video. But I just want you to get the generalization of, and I just actually not long ago started my YouTube, and I'm starting off with just like a bunch of generalization before we go into each details and how to break it down and how to really do the work, right? Because there are steps to it. You can't just generally work in one thing and think, oh, I'm gonna work on my confusion, and through my confusion I'm gonna fix my shadow side. No, that's not how it works. Or I'm gonna try to understand why I feel so lonely and work on that, and everything else would fix itself, such as my confusion, right? No, like each part of, there are dimensions to this world, right? There are dimensions to you too. So you have to understand yourself in so many different levels. You have to do the work in all the levels in order for you to fully comprehend yourself, right? What don't you like? What do you like? What is okay with you? What is not okay with you? Why do you feel this way? Why do you understand it this way? Why do you see it this way? It's just so many parts of you, okay? So yes, through understanding yourself, you learn to understand your world around you. You learn to accept the world around you as it is and be completely okay with it. Okay? Through understanding and accepting yourself as you are. When you do your shadow work, you learn to, what shadow work do is teach you to accept yourself, okay? Teaches you to understand that you're not perfect and that's okay. Teaches you that there are sides to yourself that you hide from. And that's a lot of the time the confusion comes from your shadow work, because it's like two different person living inside of you. And that's most people too. That's why we're so quick to say, oh, he's hypocrite, she's hypocrite. But meanwhile, majority of the world is, because they don't all know themselves. What is okay for them to do, it's not okay for the next person to do. You see, when you do your shadow work, you get to see all that sides of you, if you are completely honest with yourself. But in order to do this type of work, self-development, self-understanding work, self-growth, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You have to be willing to accept all part of yourself without any judgment towards yourself. Because whether you want to admit it or not, you judge yourself subconsciously. That's why you feel bad when you do something and you say something to people. That is you judging yourself in a quiet voice, without really making it obvious that you're judging yourself. Because who wants to judge themselves? Who wants to purposely hurt themselves? Nobody purposely wants to hurt themselves. If they do, we label that as what? Crazy, right? So your shadow side will help you see and understand all of this. But like I say, in order to do this type of work, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You have to accept the outcome of it, whether it's good or bad, okay? It's good. When I say outcome of it, I'm talking about what you see on your dark side, your shadow side, because you're not just working on one side, right? You're working on all sides of yourself, okay? So understanding yourself in a much deeper level to really connect with yourself, in order for you to feel connected to your life and in charge of your life, okay? So that you're not confused when you're making decisions. You're not confused on deciding what it is that you want to do. What don't you like? What do you like? How do you want to feel? You're not confused on whether to do something or not to do something, whether to be around a certain person or not be around a certain person. Like, basically everything in your life, every decision you'll make, it's in the palm of your hands, okay? And you can decide on how well you'll juggle that based on how well you get to know yourself, okay? And to understand this concept that I'm talking about, you can simply try to stare at yourself in the mirror, okay? Like, really look into your eyes, into your pupas, like people's as if like you're looking at someone. You ever looked at someone in their eyes and like you kind of try to see the soul of the person in there, whether it's a physical thing or whatever? You ever looked so deep? Do that, okay? And the more you stare at yourself, pay attention to the feelings that come up and to the thoughts that come up. Okay? Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to feed you. And thank you for feeding me right back with your comments. And if you like what I'm talking about, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscriber button. I love you guys. And thank you for always being here.